Okay, I've started the recording. Can someone please confirm if my screen is visible? Thank you, Chaitanya. Okay, guys, let us do a small recap about yesterday's topic. So we have just started discussing about arrays in Java, right? So why we have to go for arrays? To overcome the drawbacks that we have in the ordinary data types or the ordinary variables. Okay, which can hold up to only one value, maximum one value it can hold, right? So to overcome this we go for arrays, and in future to overcome arrays we go for collections. Okay, the main agenda of discussing about arrays is to understand better about Java collections. In collections we have a lot of inbuilt methods, and if you want to create our own inbuilt methods we have to use arrays. Arrays is nothing but a kind of data structure. Okay, please concentrate much on arrays. The collection topic will become very easy. Okay, so this is the same explanation which I have just explained. To collection, to use it to array is used to store the collection of similar kind of data by using a single variable name, right? And the memory allocation is always contiguous. What is contiguous? The continuous memory allocation. So yesterday we have discussed about the RAM, right? Internal things. Refer to that video once again if you have any doubts. And the syntax for declaration. Okay, to declare a Java array, so one dimensional array we can say. Okay, we will be discussing only about one dimensional array for the core Java. So you usually keep a data type followed by this square braces on the variable name. So this is valid, this is as valid as the previous one, this is also valid. Okay, but this is invalid. Okay, so if you have 5 set of values, okay, you can use any one of these, but this value, just try to recognize what kind of values you're going to store. Okay, since I have the common values, the values are what it is representing integer, right? So I will take the data type as integer, as simple as that. So this is what this is giving us the clear picture about what declaration. Okay, and instantiation. To perform the instantiation we will be using the new keyword, and the size of the declaring the size in advance is mandatory. If you don't declare the size in an advance, definitely you will get the compile time error. We will get what? We will get the compile time error. Okay, declaring the size is mandatory. Okay, so instantiation says, okay, complete the declaration and create the object by using the new keyword, right? And also mention the size of the array. Okay, so this line is complete in such a way that declaration is also done as well as the instantiation is also done. The left hand side part is talking about the declaration and the right hand side part is talking about the instantiation, means object creation, instantiation. Okay, so what about the initialization? Initialization means by using the indexes internally, like when you say 5, okay, the array size will be 5 and there will be 5 spaces of memory allocated for this particular size. Okay, and it can be, each and every size, each and every space will be addressed by using the indexes. Index always starts from 0. Okay, by using the index number we will be able to assign the values in the runtime. We will be able to initialize the values in the runtime. I can call this as what? Initialization. Yes or no? Values are initialized, right? I cannot initialize a value for an index number that is not even exist. So we get what? Array index out of bound exception. Okay, the second way of doing initialization is how? So this is the other way. So this is what? This line talks about the declaration. Also instantiation is done internally. We don't see any instantiation here. Internally the Java will take care of what? Instantiation. Okay, and initialization. Okay, values are initialized by us, that's why initialization is also complete. Got it? So yesterday I was asking you about an example. Okay, so arrays, please be informed that the arrays can be used to accommodate the values of the similar data type. I can also say it as it will allow only the homogeneous data type. Homogeneous means the same data type. Okay, so this is what the Java says. Okay, Java says arrays can allow only homogeneous data type. Okay, so if I consider this, if I want to, like, let us try to violate this line. If I have an array, if I'm taking the data type as integer, array a equal to, okay, so the data type is integer here. So this line says I can initialize values of the same data type. It means 100, 200, 300. So the data types are valid. So this case is a valid case. Yes or no? This is a valid case. Okay. What if I try to do this? What if I try to do, okay, so this one is integer. Okay, I want to store the integer array. I want to store the values that is representing integer. Okay, this is valid, and this is what? Invalid, because I am trying to store the float data type. Yes or no? This becomes invalid. Okay, now the third case, look at the third, focus on the third case. If I have an array like this, okay, if I ever try to store a character data type, the question is whether this is valid or invalid. Okay, of course this is valid. This second one is invalid because this is the floating point value, which cannot be, you cannot assign this value to the integer data type, so invalid. Okay, if this is invalid, this should also be invalid now, but it is valid. Why it is valid, we will see that. Let me take this and let me go back to the screen. So I'm not getting any error, but try to display the values in the console. If I ever try to display the values in the console, I want to display a of 0, right? I want to display all the values by using the index numbers a of 1 and a of 2, right? So 100, 200 and 68. So this character is converted to an integer. Internally promotion is happening, typecasting is happening, implicit typecasting is happening. Okay, when I say implicit typecasting or when I say promotion, okay, this is the order of the data types, according to the promotion chart. Byte can be promoted to short, short can be promoted to integer, integer can be promoted to long, and we have float, and we also have double. Yes or no? Yes or no? And we have what? Character, right? So this is the promotion chart. We know this already. We have discussed this many number of times. Yes or no? Right? So now look at our example. I have used the data type as what? Integer. Yes or no? I have used the data type as integer. Let me allow the people inside. Okay. So what does it mean? Okay. I can also, so when I say integer, so this is the data type I have used. So when I say integer, okay, all the data types that is falling behind this integer. So in our case, byte is also allowed, short is also allowed, character is also allowed. Are you getting this? So when I fix the data type for an array as the integer, let me repeat, when I fix the data type of an array as an integer, it means all the data types that is less than the integer are allowed. So byte is allowed, short is allowed, and character is allowed. That's why we are not getting any error in our programming part. Character is what? Character is behind the integer. Okay, so this can be promoted to integer. Okay, character is here, character data type. This is representing the character data type. Okay, and this is always possible to promote to the integer type, right? For example, okay, if I try to place a value float to our example, instead of character, if I try to place a value, a floating point value, 200.200f. This time we are getting error because we want the values, we want to initialize the value of integer type. Okay, so this is valid, this is also valid. So we are trying to store something that is larger than integer type. If it is smaller than integer type, no issues. But if it is larger than integer type, definitely we will face an issue. We will get an error. Typecasting will not happen. That's why we are getting an error. See? So these are the possible values. Byte is possible, short is possible, character is possible. But we are trying to do what? We are trying to store the floating point value. Okay, which is larger than the integer value. So that's why that is the reason why the line is breaking here. Right? Another example, if I have a double here, okay, by using the double array, I can store all the values. Don't you think so? I can store any kind of values without any issues. I can store floating point, or I can store long value, right? And I can store the double value. I can store the character value. I can store integer value. No issues. So I'm not getting any error. Why I'm not getting any error? So what is the data type that I have used? Double. Okay. Yes or no? I have used a double. So double is here. So when I'm using the data type as double, okay. So don't you think that all the values are allowed? Because I'm using the data type as double. What does it really mean? What does it really mean? It is the largest data type among this primitive data type. It means you can store character which can be promoted to double, no issues. You can store long, which can be again promoted to double. Look at the direction. You can store short, which can be promoted to double. You can store a float, which can be promoted to double. There will be no issues. Okay. Likewise, in future, if I'm using float data type, in future, if I ever try to use the float data type, okay, I can possibly store all the values before the float data type. So all these values are possible. Byte is possible, short, integer, long, float, character, except double. Are you getting this? So in future, if I am trying to store, if I am trying to assign the long data type for an array, possible I can store all the values that is falling behind: byte, short, integer, long, and character. Making sense? Are you getting this? This was the question that I have asked yesterday. Can we come to a conclusion that we are good with this question, everyone? The reason why you may get this question in the interview, only Chaitanya is responding. What about others? Not able to follow or not? Please, everyone respond. Okay. So next question. So this was the yesterday's question. Okay, this is valid. And if I use double, okay, and if I use array, so double is the largest data type in the primitive level. So all the combinations are possible. 100, a character I can use, okay, and I can use what? I can use the long value. Right? All the values are possible. Valid. So this one is invalid. So these are the possible combinations. Right, next question. Next question is, so today we will do a lot of program. We'll try to understand the length variable in an array, in the Java array. Length variable in the Java. Okay, so the length variable is used to get the exact size of the array that is given, or I can say exact size of the given array. Exact size of what? Exact size of the given array. Okay, so what does it really mean? If I have an array of, the variable name is a, if I am declaring an array, and I can initialize any number of values: 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, by looking at this, visually I can say that the size of the array is what? By counting the values, I can say that the size of the array is 5, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I can say, but how can you find the size of the array with the Java program? So internally, Java is giving you the variable, so which is going to help us to find the size of an array. What is that variable name? Variable name itself is length. Just use the data, a variable name a dot length. By using this variable name and by using this length variable, we are able to find the size of the array. So why it is required to find the size of the array, we will try to understand in the future problems. Okay, so by looking at this, we are able to say the size is 5. Sometimes in an array, we won't be able to find the exact size. We may get a confusion. There will be some misconception. Okay, there will be a lot of elements. So 5 is fine, so we can count. But what if the if 1000 values are stored? What if 1250, something like that? What if the values, no, 1 2 3 4 values are stored, which is uncountable, which will make our life messy, right? So we will get pissed off, right? If we are asked to find, we cannot count every array, right? So if that is the case, go with the length variable. Example, we have a program. Okay, so I can just use what? Okay, what is the variable name? A dot length. Okay, so by using this length variable, I will be able to find what? The size of the array, 6. Do we have 6 values in the array? Let us count 1 2 3 3 4 5 6. We have exactly 6 values. Let me add one more value here. Okay, this time we should get what? The size of the array is what? 7. Right? So length is a variable used to find the size of the array. Are you getting this? This is the example. So we have understood what is length variable. Now we are trying to understand about what? Scanner class. Scanner class. Please focus here. I am going to introduce a lot of problems. We are going to do a lot of programs. Okay, never miss this. Okay, stay focused. This is very, very important. Arrays are especially important when you're giving interviews, because you will be asked to write Java programs on top of arrays. 90% of the questions will come from Java arrays. So try to stay focused. Okay, scanner class. Scanner class is used to retrieve or get data from the end users. Okay, so this is how you can create an object. Scanner is very simple, guys. We will be discussing about this scanner class in the input output stream, in IO streams, okay, after completing these collections. For now, okay, you if you are asked to create an object for the scanner class, okay, use the scanner class, create a, give any reference variable, okay, and use the new keyword, and this scanner class is going to accept a parameter, and the parameter is what? System.out. Okay, this line says, okay, when the moment you give this line, you can use this reference variable. Here our reference variable is obj. You can use this reference variable to get data from the end user. How is it possible? If you want to get integer data from the end user, okay, you will do what? Obj dot next int. Okay, so this is going to scan the integer data from the end user. Once it is scanned, it has to be stored in a variable now. For that, I am using the variable name as integer. Yeah. Okay, if you want to retrieve the floating point data, okay, obj dot next float. Okay, so since we are retrieving the floating point data, the data type has to be what? Float. Okay, like this. So we have all set of combinations for all the primitive data types. So 1 2 3. Okay, if you want to retrieve byte, okay, obj dot next byte. If you want to retrieve the short data type, obj dot next short. If you want to retrieve long data type, okay, obj dot next long. If you want to retrieve the boolean data type, obj dot next boolean. Okay. We want to retrieve the character data type, obj dot next character. Okay, and what else we have? Integer, float, byte, long, double data type, obj dot next double. We want to retrieve the string data type. You have two options, obj dot next, obj dot next line. Okay, so what are these? What are actually, what is a scanner and what is the use cases? We will understand this now. Okay, so for example, okay, I want to fetch the values from the end user. Okay, let us go back to the programming part, Eclipse. Okay, instead of hard coding this, I want to get data from the end user. Okay, what I will ask from the end user, okay, from the end user, please enter the size of the array. Okay, now I'm going to follow an approach. What approach I'm following? I will fetch data. I will get data from the end user firstly. Okay, I will ask him the size of the array. Okay, end user will input the size, and I will ask him the values of the array that the end user wants to use. I will get values from the end user, and I want to print. What is the algorithm that I'm trying to follow here? Okay, everything I will be getting from the end user. End user means the person who wants to who wants to give the size of the array, who wants to enter the values for the array. Anyone can be end user. Okay, what is the approach? Okay. Get values. Get size of the array. Get size of the array. Okay. Get values. Okay, then what else we have? Retrieve the values, print it in the console. How we can achieve this? So this is the approach that we are going to follow now. This is the typical algorithm. Okay, getting the size of the array from the end user, getting the values from the end user. Okay, so we will retrieve the values, and we will print it in the console again. Okay, how we can achieve this? Okay, to achieve this, definitely I need to use the scanner class. Okay, the importance of scanner class is that I can able to retrieve data from the end user. I can get the details from the end user. Okay, so how can this be done? Okay, so I'm using the scanner. Okay, it is in java.println scanner package. I can give any reference variable name. So for the time being, I'm taking obj equal to new scanner. Okay, system.out. I have just declared a scanner class. Okay, the moment I declare this, it means by using this reference variable, I can get values. I can get values from the end user by using this reference variable name. What is the reference variable name? Obj. Okay, since we are working with arrays, I want to work with the integer values. I want to work with the complete numbers. So I am interested to, firstly, I am interested to get the value of a number that is defining the size of the array. Yes or no? Okay, what I will ask from the end user, I'm going to ask what? Okay, please enter the size of the array. So this will be displayed on the console. So what end user has to, end user will be giving the number. End user has to input the number. Okay, if I run this code, what I will be getting? I will be getting nothing. So this will be entered on the console. But end user wants to enter the size. Okay, I am not able to enter the size. I am hitting on number 5 in my keyboard, but it is not getting displayed here because there is no proper code. The main thread is getting terminated. After encountering this line, the main thread is getting terminated. Okay, I need to find a way to catch the value from the end user. So if I run this, okay, I am entering 5 from my side, from my keyboard. Okay, I'm giving the 5 number, I'm giving the 5. Okay, it is not even, the console is not active now. You may be seeing that the cursor is blinking, but the console is not active because there is no code given in the program to get the value from the end user. What code can I write to get the value? I will be using this reference variable obj dot. So I'm interested to get the number. Okay, let me write that here. Please enter the size of the array in the number format. Okay, so I'm interested to, okay, now the end user will be what? He will be getting, he will be alerted to enter the number. Now we got to know what he needs to do from his end. Okay, so I'm using this reference variable. I use what? Next int. Right, it means end user can enter a number, I can accept that. So if end user is entering number 5, okay, I can accept that, but I need to use a variable name to store that number. So I want to use what? This time I'm using the variable name b integer. Okay, so let me do this. SYSO end user has entered the number. What is the number that the end user has entered? P. We run this code. Okay, so it is asking the end user, please enter the size of an array in the number format. Okay, now I can enter the size. Now I am able to enter. Previously I was not able to enter. Why I was not able to enter? The main thread got terminated. Now I have placed some instruction. See what is instruction here? Okay, I am using this reference variable of scanner type. I am using the reference variable obj of scanner type. Okay, and I am interested to fetch the integer numbers. Next int means end user can input any number that can be stored in the variable b. Okay, so this is, I'm catching the variable, I'm catching the number that is entered by the end user, and this 5 is getting stored in the variable b equal to 5. As soon as this is stored in the variable b, the next statement is what? End user has entered the number b. What does it mean? Okay, instead of b, 5 will be displayed on the console. End user has entered the number 5. Okay, let me run this. Okay, now the first statement, okay, and I want to enter 5. This time let me enter 4. The end user has entered. So we are just trying to understand how the scanner class is helpful for us to get the values from the end user. Okay, this time I want to do some manipulation. What I want to do, I want to catch this value. Okay, I want to treat this value as the size of the array. My intention is to get the value from the end user. Okay, we are communicating with the end user. Okay, I am saying please enter the value. Okay, I am thinking like a computer. Okay, I am saying to the end user, please enter the size of the array in the number format. Okay, end user is going to enter the number. Any number he will enter. Okay, I have to treat that number as the array size. What I can do here, I can take an array integer. Okay, and the array is what? ARR equal to new integer. Okay, B. Okay, so this is not an odd coding now. End user will enter some value that will be treated as the size of the array. If end user is entering 10, instead of 5, if he is entering 10, 10 will be the size of an array. So this should be, the name should be meaningful, no? What I am saying, instead of B, I am saying size. I am saying size. First approach to get the, we are not odd coding this. This is the first approach to get the value from the end user. Okay, and using that value as the size of the array. So we are able to define an array of size that is specified by the end user. Are you getting this? Okay, next thing is we got the size and we need to do what? We need to what? So let us try to understand what is the size of the array. Array dot length. We have the variable now. I have already explained about the variable. Okay, I can say that the size of the array is ARR dot length. Let me run this code. If the end user is entering 10, okay, the size of the array is 10. Okay, let me run this code once again. The end user is entering 5. Okay, the size of the array is 5. Okay, let me copy this code. Let me copy this code. Let me go to the paint screen. Okay, scanner object is getting created. Okay, this object is very simple to catch values from the end user. This object is helpful to do what? To catch the values from the end user. Okay, the next instruction is what? So this will be displayed in the console. Please enter the, the system is communicating with the end user. Okay, now the end user will be able to see, please enter the size of the array in the number format. Okay, the end user has got to know that you need to enter a number. Okay, he will be entering a random number. Okay, let us say that the end user is entering 5. Okay, let us say that the end user is entering the number 5. Okay, so after the next line, this 5 will be assigned to the variable size. Okay, so in the memory there will be a space created. Okay, and the value will be 5, and the variable name is what? Size. Okay, size becomes what? 5. Right. Okay. After this, what we are trying to do, we are automatically using that number to define the size of the array. Okay, this line is as equivalent as what? Okay, this size will be replaced. Now the size will be replaced to the number 5. Okay, now automatically we are able to do what? We are able to define the size of the array, right? Because of this line. So because of this line, don't you think that in the memory an array will be created of size 5? We have discussed these things yesterday. An array will be created of size what? Of size 5. Yes or no? Okay, and this is going to be referred with the variable name a.rr. Along with this size, it is also going to assign the indexes. First indexes is 0, second index is 1, third indexes is 2, fourth is 3, fifth is 4. Okay, along with this, default values will be assigned. So this is 0, this is 0, because initially default values will be assigned to the respective arrays. Yes or no? We are automating the things. Okay, after this, we are trying to display a simple statement to the end user. Again, a communication is happening between the computer and the end user. The size of the array is what? a.rr.length. We are using the variable name what? a.rr. Okay, and again we are using the inbuilt variable name what? Length. What we are using? We are using the inbuilt variable name length. Focus here. Length. The moment you use the inbuilt variable name arr.length, arr.length, what it is going to do, guys? It is going to count the memory spaces. Count what? How many memory spaces are there inside the array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 will be returned. So output is going to be what? Along with this line, 5 will be displayed along with this line. Okay, if I enter 5, the size of the array is 5. Okay, if I enter 10, the size of the array is 10. Are we good with these lines, everyone? We have automated to get the, or to define the size of the array. We are not hard coding it. We have just automated the things by using the scanner class. Are you able to follow? Oh, okay, see, good. Next thing is, so we got things. What is our intention? Our intention is to what? So our program is write a Java program Write a Java program to read and write array elements by collecting the data from the end user. Okay, so far to read and write, first of all we need to do what? Okay, we need to get the size, we need to define the size, it should be automated, so we have completed that. Okay, now we should read the values, from the end user again. After reading the values we should write the values. Okay, so far we have completed this. Now we will try to understand how we can read the values. Okay, the next statement is going to be, I do not want to do this, okay, because my intention is to do what? To read the values, to write the values. But I want to know the size of the array, because these things are getting automated by getting the values from the end user. Right? Let me remove this statement. Instead of this, I know what is the size now. Okay. Please enter. We are asking the end user to enter the values that needs to be stored in the array. Okay, I am using the simple for loop. For, okay, I am setting up a boundary by using the for loop. Integer I equal to 0, initial condition. Okay, the final condition is I is lesser than what? ARR. ARR dot length. Okay, I plus plus. Okay, what I am doing it here, a of I equal to obj dot next int. Okay, what are the things that is happening behind the scenes? This is ARR. Okay, what are the things that is going to happen behind the scenes? Okay, we'll understand. Okay, this line is talking about reading the values or getting the values from the end user. Okay, end user. Okay, let me copy this. Okay. So far these things has happened behind the scenes. Can we move this somewhere in the above? Okay. Okay, now I have added few more lines. I have added few more lines. Okay, so next statement is what? This line needs to be displayed in the console. Please enter the values that you want to store. Okay. After this, the main thing is happening. After this, I am using a for loop. Okay. After this, please focus on this for loop. This is the for loop. I have set the boundary as initially I equal to 0. Why I equal to 0? Because the index starts from 0. Okay. And why I is lesser than ARR dot length. What is ARR dot length? This is the size of the array now. This portion is going to give us the size of the respective array. Okay, so in the current example, the size of the array is 5. Okay, so this for loop has to run from how many times? This for loop will be running from 0 to I equal to 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally, because I equal to 5 is going to be the failure condition. Okay, this is the successful condition. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is going to run for 5 number of times. Right? So this for loop is going to run for how many times? 5 number of times as per the boundary condition. As per the boundary condition. Right? So In a current example, it will run for 5 times. Okay, so for the first time, okay, so it is trying to fetch the data from the end user. Okay, we are using this obj.nextInt, right? So it says the JVM is going to do what? It is identifying the reference variable obj. Okay, obj is of what type? Obj is of the scanner type. Yes or no? OBJ is of scanner type. So it will get to know that it needs to collect the data from the end user. Okay, end user will entering some value, any random value will enter 100. Let us say that end user is entering 100. Okay, so end user is entering 100. Okay, this 100 will be stored inside what? ARR of I. Okay, for when this for loop is getting iterated for the first time, it means what? ARR of I value is 0, right? ARR of 0 equal to the end user is entering 100. First time iteration. If the for loop is executing for the second time, ARR of 1, I will be incremented to 1. So these are the simple for loop, guys. And end user may be entering some value like 200. Okay, if the for loop is getting looped for the third time, iterated for the third time, okay, the I value keeps getting incremented, and the end user will be entering a random value like 300. Fourth time, ARR of 3 equal to 400. Fifth time, ARR of 4 equal to 500. Okay, so there is no sixth time. Sixth time, the for loop will be what? Will be condition will be false, so for loop will be broken. For loop breaks. Right? And if you focus here, this part, okay, this 0, this 1, this 2, this 3, this 4, they are the indexes. Okay, the first time I equal to 0, for the second time I equal to 1, third time I equal to 2, fourth time 3, fifth time iteration 4. Okay, every time we are doing what? Okay, first time ARR of 0, in the ARR of 0, okay, this is ARR, okay, this is 0th index, we are collecting data from the end user and storing. Okay, when the for loop is running for the second time, again ARR, first index, we are collecting data from the end user, we are storing. Third time, ARR, third index, collecting data from the end user, storing. Fourth time, ARR, third index, collecting data from the end user and storing. Fifth time, ARR, fourth index, collecting data from the end user, 500. So we are just automating the things by using the for loop. Okay, this for loop is going to do what? It is going to collect data from the end user. How many times? The length of the array times, the size of the array times. Okay, first time end user, this data is random one. I am taking 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 as an example. End user may enter any kind of data. It can be 200, it can be 300, it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 5, any data. But the data that is entered by the end user will be collected by the respective iteration. Okay, so let me go back to the code. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, let me run this. Please enter the size of the array. I want to enter 5. Sequentially, we are coming from the sequentially we are executing the code from top to bottom. Okay, please enter the values that needs to be stored in the array. So 100 I want to enter, 200 I want to enter, 300 I want to enter, 400 I want to enter, 500 I want to enter. That's it. Program has got terminated. Because of this particular piece of code, behind the scenes, so this many things are happened. So we have some values in the array now. By using the for loop, by using the scanner, we are able to input the data inside the array. Now I want to read the data. I want to do what? I want to read the data. Simply copy and paste the same for loop. Okay. Copy and paste the same for loop. Read the data. Write the data. Print the data in the console. Print the data console. Okay, so instead of doing all this, now I am not going to use the obj reference. So simply I will use data has already been collected, so I will be using arr of I. The respective data that has been stored inside the array will be printed. Okay. So I can, to display this something meaningful in the console, what I'm trying to write something, the value inside the index, inside the array of index I is, okay, now you see. Okay, please enter the size of the array. Okay, 5. Please enter the values that needs to be stored: 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. The values inside the array of index I, 0 equal to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Very simple. I have stored the values, and again by using the same for loop, okay, I am trying to print the values in the console. To give this the better view to the end user, I can say that the values that has been stored by you is as follows. System.out.println, okay, the meaningful message to the end user. Okay, so if I want to enter the size 3, now I am changing the size, guys, 3. So I can enter only 3 values: 100, 200, 300. Okay, the values that you have been stored by you is as follows. Value inside the array 0 is 100, 200. See, the values are getting stored sequentially in the orderly fashion. Okay, this is the typical program to do what? Okay, write a program to read and write elements by collecting the data from the end user. Okay, if you get a question like this, so this is how you can write the program. Okay, you can give a practice. You can do some practice. Okay, there are so many questions. Question number 1. We will try to solve all the questions, all the basic questions, or all the important questions that will be placed on top of Java arrays. Program to calculate sum of elements present in an array. Okay, like this, there are 7 set of problems. I think 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So program to calculate sum of elements present in an array. Program to calculate sum of even numbers. Okay, in an array there can be only even numbers. So I want to calculate the sum of even numbers present in an array. Then program to calculate sum of odd numbers. Odd numbers present in an array. Okay. Then program to calculate sum of positive numbers. Okay. Very simple, guys. All this coding part is very simple. Okay. We need to identify the simple logic. Positive numbers. Program to calculate sum of negative numbers. Negative numbers present in an array. Okay. Program to calculate sum of numbers that are divisible by 2 and 3. Okay, so let us do one problem, and the remaining problems will be very easy. Okay, what is the logic behind this? Very simple. What is the logic? Okay, I have to iterate through the array. Okay, I need to initialize the sum variable, integer sum equal to 0, okay, I need to iterate through the array. Okay, iterate through the array. Okay, I need to use a if condition, a specific if condition. Okay, if this condition is satisfied, I need to do what? I need to do the summation, sum plus a of I, or sum plus, this is a pseudo code, okay, retrieve. Okay. For all the 6 programs, this is the logic. Okay, let us try to do the perform the first one, program to calculate the sum of elements present in an array. Okay, let us make the code very simple. Let me remove all this. Okay, so we do not want this scanner class. I am declaring an array, declaring, and I am initializing, and I am doing the instantiation in a one line. Okay, integer a equal to integer array a equal to int array a equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple, no? Question is very simple. Okay, what is the first problem? Program to calculate the sum of the elements present in an array. Okay, I want to find the sum. How can I approach? Okay, I want to find the sum. I want to add all the elements. Okay, can I just say to the interviewer, like, by adding the element, by looking at this, 5 plus 4, 9, and 9 plus 3, 12, 13, 14, 15. Answer is 15, but I want to do it by using the Java program. Okay, how can we approach this? Okay, the question is like, okay, we have 5 elements in the array. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to find the summation. What I can do? I can iterate. I can iterate from 1 to 5. I can iterate from 1 to 5. At the time of iteration, I need to collect. First, I need to collect 1. Okay, I need to collect 1 and I need to store it somewhere. Okay, next time I need to collect 2. I need to add with the stored number. So this is going to give me 3. Next time I need to retrieve the value 3. Okay, which is going to be added with this sum 3, which is going to give 6. Next time again iteration 4. Okay, and this 4 needs to be added with the existing sum 6, which is going to give 10. Next time I need to iterate 5. Okay, this 5 will be added with the existing sum 10, and final answer is going to be 15. Next time there is nothing to iterate, so the loop is going to what? It is going to get what? Broken. So this is the logic, right? So in order to perform any iteration, in order to perform this iteration, if I want to move the cursor from what? If I want to move the cursor from the initial value to the final value, for loop is mandatory. To move the cursor forward, what did I just say? To move the cursor forward, you want to use what? For loop. Okay, at the time of movement, at the time of moving, I need to fetch the value. That is one case. Okay, after fetching the value, I need to store that value by doing some summation. For that, I need to take a variable, initial variable, as what? Sum equal to 0, right? So first time this loop, this cursor is pointing towards the value 1. This value 1 needs to be retrieved. Okay, and added to the sum. Okay, second time this 2 has to be retrieved and added to the existing sum. Third time this 3 has to be retrieved and added to the existing sum. Likewise, I can perform the summation. Okay, in order to understand this better in the Java program, what I am going to do, I am taking a variable integer sum equal to 0. I am taking the for loop, integer I equal to 0. I is lesser than size of the array, so that we can retrieve the value by using the indexes. So a.length. Okay, if you get locked out of the meeting, please rejoin. Okay. So this for loop is used to move the cursor forward. Okay. So at the time of this movement, what I am doing, I am using the sum variable plus, okay, I am fetching the value of array according to the indexes. Okay, I am assigning this to the sum itself. Done. Okay, so this for loop is going to run for how many times? This for loop will run for the length of the array times, 5 times. We have 5 values, so this will definitely run for 5 times. Every time it is fetching value. First time it is fetching the value 1. So no, value 1 is collected and this 1 is getting added to this 0. Okay, and second time, so sum becomes 1. Sum becomes 1. Second time 2 is collected. 2 is getting added to the existing sum. So 2 plus 1 is going to become what? 3. Okay. Third time 3 is collected. 3 will be added to the existing sum. 3 plus 3 becomes what? 6. Fourth time 4 is collected. 4 will be added to the existing sum. 4 plus 6 is going to become what? 10. Fifth time 5 is retried or 5 is collected. 5 will be added to the existing sum. 10 plus 5 is going to be what? 15. Sixth time for loop will be broken. I mean the condition is going to fail. So the cursor will come out of the main thread will come out of the for loop. At the time the main thread is coming out of the for loop, I want to print the sum. Sum is plus sum. Okay, let me run this. Sum is 15. Okay, if I add one more number, 6. Okay, the sum should be 21, right? The sum should be 21. You can add any numbers, all the numbers will be calculated. You can add complex numbers also. All the values inside the array will be added, will be calculated. Sum is 514. Are you getting this? How to find the sum of the array? Everyone? Yes, no? Right? This is the first program. Okay, the second program, the first program is what? We have concluded the first program. Very simple, no? Let me add this. So the second program is going to be very easy. So program to calculate sum of even numbers present in the array. Okay, program to calculate the sum of even numbers present in an array. Okay, what we have just done before, we are able to calculate all the numbers that is present inside the array. But this time, I want to identify the even numbers. For example, if I am given an array, if I have an array like elements like 1, 3, 5, 2, 7, 9. Okay, previously we are able to find the sum of all the arrays. So this is how the control is. Every element has been identified and we are able to add. Now this time I want to identify the even numbers first. Okay, which is the even number? 2 is the even number. Okay, only 2 is the even number. Okay, I want to print 2. For example, if I have an array like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If this is my array, okay, I want to retry the even numbers. 2 is the even number, right? Two is even number, 4 is even number, and 6 is even number. Okay, I want to perform the summation of 2 plus 4 plus 6. I want to ignore the odd numbers. Okay, so again I will be using an iterator. Again I will be using an iterator. Again I will be using the for loop to iterate over the elements. Again I will be using what? I will be using the for loop to iterate over each and every element, but this time I will allow to perform the summation only for the even numbers. Only for the even numbers. So I need to place a checking. I need to place a if check. I need to do what? I need to keep a check condition, if check. Okay, inside the for loop I will be placing an if check. That is our program. So the program is going to be same, but inside the for loop, okay, the logic is also same, but I will perform the summation. I will perform the summation by an if check. The question is what kind of check that we can place here? What kind of condition we can place here? We need to perform the summation only for the even numbers. So if condition will be like if a of I, if a of element percentage of 2 double equal to 0. So this is the condition I'm going to say. So this summation will happen only for the even numbers, because even values will be filtered. Even values or even numbers will be filtered. Okay, is it really work? 492. Okay, let us remove this. Let us make the code simple. Okay, how many even numbers are here? Let me remove this. This is the previous example. Okay, how many even numbers do we have? 2, 4. The answer should be 6, right? 6. Let me add another even number. 6. How many even numbers do we have? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Summation should be 12. 12. Okay, just place an if condition. Everything will be same. Just place an if condition so that you will be able to allow the summation for the even numbers by placing the if condition. If the element, okay, this particular instruction is going to retrieve the even numbers. Okay, are you getting this? Even numbers. If you are able to find for even numbers, for to find the odd numbers, what I can do? If a of I percentage of 2 is not equal to 0, they are able to get what? The summation of odd numbers. 9. Is it true? Odd numbers are what? 1, 3, 5. Okay, 5 plus 3 plus 1. 1, 3, 5 are the odd numbers. Sum this. 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. Okay, so what is the next question? Okay, we are able to do this. We are able to, okay, positive numbers. Okay, let me include some negative numbers here. Inside the array, I want to place minus 1. I want to place minus 2. I want to place minus 3. Okay, I want to do the summation only for the odd numbers. Let me keep minus here. What can be the logic here? Okay, very simple. If a of I is greater than or equal to 0, right? This is the condition. 18. Is it true? How many numbers we have? How many positive numbers we have? 1, 1 comma 2 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma, right? These are the positive numbers. 6 plus 5, 11, 11 plus 4, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 should be the answer. 18. For the negative numbers, lesser than or equal to 0. Or you can ignore 0. 0 is not a negative number, or it is neither a positive number. So minus 9. Because how many negative numbers are there? Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and we have 2 minus 3. Okay. So minus 3, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, minus 10. Minus 10 will be displayed in the condition. Number. Only the conditional check. So with this one logic, you are able to solve almost 7 programs. Okay, what is the next question? Positive numbers. Okay. sum of numbers that are divisible by 2 and 3, 2 as well as 3. Okay, a of I percentage of 2 equal to 0. The sum of the numbers that is divisible by 2 and okay, copy this and paste this divisible by 3. Okay, let us take few numbers 2 comma 4 comma 6 comma 33. Okay, all these numbers are divisible by 2 and 3. Okay, what should be the output? Okay, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 means both should be valid. Only 6 is divisible by both 2 as well as 3. Okay, if I use OR condition, okay, all the numbers will be sum. Summation will happen for all the numbers. If I use AND condition, okay, any number that is divisible by both 2 and 3. Only 6 is the number that is divisible by 2 as well as divisible by 3. That's why we are getting 6 in the console for the AND condition. Okay. OR condition, we will get all the values. Got it. If you have any place any number like 11, 11 is not part of it, cannot be divisible by 2, it cannot be divisible by 3 as well. So the output should be the same like before. 45. Okay. We have solved almost 6 problems by using this logic. Any questions for me?